Welcome to the Gamescast after E3. Episode 60, I believe we're on.
I believe so too.
I think so.
On
Am I right?
episode 61.
61, I was close. Well, I guess we counted 60 last week. Right? Yeah, I would
60
think
was last week. And
yeah,
then
we counted 60 for the E3.
No, I don't think so. I think it was 61 for E3 and this is 62.
Oops, okay, so we're
Let me
both-
check. I have a very surefire way of finding this out that is not so surefire, but is a method.
So what's up, guys? Of course, we are Improv Gaming. We are here on youtube.com/Improv Gaming.
What do you think of the new set?
Yeah,
New
new
set. This is the set that we're going to go with forever and ever.
Not ever and ever. Let's not get carried away.
Okay, calm down, Pete.
Until this breaks.
Shut up the butt.
You're trying to look for the date?
I am.
Concentration is mounting. The people are waiting.
Tension is mounting. Concentration is key, and the people are waiting. But thank you for participating.
If you didn't know, the gentleman to the right who is just so mean to me every week on this Gamescast, he only has the best ponytail in the business, and he does everything under the sun.
It's fabulous.
Mr. Nicholas De Jesus.
How's it going tonight, everybody?
And to my left, he's only the biggest Zelda fan in the world. Don't believe me, he'll tell you all about it today. And probably Friday too.
Yep.
He has the tattoo of the Triforce on his right arm. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't forget that master sword in that pants.
Thank you.
Mr. Jeremy Bird.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Biggest Zelda fan in the world coming at you once again.
And I'm Pete. And what I'm wondering this week is what was the number one game that stood out? Now, today's episode's all about the good of E3. What we liked, what we loved, what we enjoyed, trailers, gameplay, everything. What are we on?
We're on 62.
62?
Yes.
62. Wow, I was bad on that.
62.
He's going to argue with that point.
No.
I don't believe.
Keep going.
So, this week is all about post E3, what our reactions are. Today is all about what was the good stuff of E3, what we loved. Wednesday is all about the bad and the shit that we had to deal with. And Friday is, of course, our best of, where we have best trailer, best gameplay demo, best press conference, game of show. All that is on Friday, which is next episode.
So something that stood out.
Yeah, what was the number one thing that stood out where you're like, damn, I didn't know about this, or I did know about this, but this made me so excited? I will start with, of course, Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
Nice.
Now, I told you, gentlemen, about this game, made by Rare. Very excited, Xbox exclusive, of course. And I saw the trailer right before the press conference again to remember everything. And I was like, I really could get behind this game. And then I saw the gameplay demo, or the short little 2 minutes, which I recommend you guys seeing. It's all these guys who are just these crew members going, and all these craziness happens with, sailing and ship battles and ships sinking and all this fun atmosphere. I'm very excited. The only thing I was disappointed is no release date, but definitely Sea of Thieves stood out as basically what I like to say is the biggest surprise of E3 for me, at least.
Okay.
So I would have to go with Sea of Thieves. What are your gentlemen's thoughts?
I can agree with that.
I agree
really
as well.
commend that.
Game looks so much fun.
But what stood out for me, and go with me for a second.
Take a walk.
Because like Mr. Ollivander says in Harry Potter, greatness can be good or bad. And
What are
Gwent,
you doing?
Gwent stood out for me, and not in a good way.
Really?
Not in a good way. And in a
Th-
and it's like a kind of like on the fence way, right?
So now
So it's not a
explain
bad
Gwent
way.
to the fans.
So Gwent is the game, the card battle game, I guess.
Yes.
From
Witcher 3.
Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Yep, you would play it in the
salons
in the
or
bar,
saloons
the saloons, the
Yeah.
bars, the rough rallies.
And it was a card game. Now there was a lot of following to this game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were spending a lot of time on it, and so the developers decided that they were going to make a standalone Gwent game. And I'm like on the fence. It stood out because it was like, why would you do that? But at the same time, cool for acknowledging the players. Mm-hmm. And that's why it stood out to me. Out of all of E3, was just like, really? Is that really like worthy of an E3 announcement? And
But for the people who are in love, they
exactly,
you know?
and that's why I'm on the fence. Is because it's like back and forth. Like on one hand, like,
Do you think it deserves a place at E3? That's
yeah,
what you're
does
saying.
it deserve a
I
place at
agree.
E3? And I understand like trying to like rebuild a consumer base, but at the same time, it was just kind of like out of nowhere, and I could have gone without it. But again, I don't play the game, so I don't know.
I dabbled with it in Witcher 3, my game of the year last year, but it didn't pull me as much as everybody else. I could see though why people would love it, and I understand why they would have it at press.
Is it basically like Yu-Gi-Oh inside of Witcher? Is that basically what the game is? It's like a kind of Yu-Gi-Oh game type of
Yu-Gi-Oh
deal?
magic type thing, like all mixed in together. It was, like I said, I didn't spend that much time with it because if I remember in the game, you play it for maybe 5 minutes just to introduce the gameplay elements. You know, and you automatically win. Like that's how it's set up in the mission. You know, but it's cool because you certain powers or certain cards are more powerful than others, of course, and like the rarity and everything like that. And it's cool to see them make their own card battle game because you look at the Hearthstones from Blizzard and all these big card battle games, and of course to a lesser extent Yu-Gi-Oh that comes out every couple of years, But for this, I feel like even if it doesn't do well, it's for the fans. This game doesn't look like it really took that much effort to make. Taking nothing away from CG Project Red, but it didn't look like it took a lot away from their development of Cyberpunk, or the new Witcher that's coming out in 5 years,
Yeah, but it was something like cool, quick, and I get you.
It's something like here, we could have made this DLC, but we spent a little bit more extra time, and here's what we came up with for you guys.
I got you. Like for me, it shouldn't have been at E3, but that's again personally for me. But at the same time, it's like a fence thing. Like awesome, they're actually acknowledging the players and what the players like to do inside of their games. But not awesome because you could have spent that time telling us about whatever new IP you were working on or whatever previous.
Or at
IP
least
you
have
were
Cyberpunk
something
there.
available.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in the comments, please let us know. Do you agree with Nick? Do you think it didn't deserve to be there, or are you a fan of Gwent and you want it there? Mr. Jeremy Bird, what stood out for you?
I was going to go with one, but I know Nick and I are on the same page with that game. I'll save it for later.
Okay.
It's kind of a
Are you going to save it for Friday, or are you going to save it for later in this conversation?
I'm going to save it for Friday because it's kind of a downhill game.
Okay.
But I'm going to have to rewind to Microsoft.
Okay.
All these different games come out. The Gwent thing shined me off. Tekken 7 turned me off for the release date. Dead Rising 4, okay, you brought me back in. And then, boom, Scalebound.
Oh, I
Scalebound was just, that game just looks amazing. Dragons, and you're fighting probably one of the biggest bosses that I've seen ever in video game history. Like, you have like the Titans from God of War 3, you have the Colossus from Shadow of Colossus, but that water scorpion thing was just ridiculous. But just the gameplay elements, the fact that you can combine with the dragon for melee attacks, you actually have to think strategically about how do I fight this thing, how do I take it down, and then the fact you can literally hop on the dragon or the dragon to save your neck if the platform's going to break. Just from how, like, and it's also the fact that you take, like, you're in a medieval time, it looked like it, with dragons and stuff like that, and yet you're walking around with a set of freaking headphones on your neck, the modern slash past combination just really, really turns it on for me.
What do you think about the inclusion of like multiplayer co-op in that?
I'm behind it because
where you can like call your friends over to help you out with like maybe that thing deserves like 4 people to actually fight it. Like doing it by yourself probably would suck.
Well,
That's
I could see
actually
it
what I was
also
gonna say.
being maybe the more people you have, the more difficult it is. Similar to a Borderlands, you could play it single
Well, that could have
player.
been a dungeon a lot like what's it called? A lot like Destiny. That could have been a dungeon, and that could have been like kind of like the Son of Sparta type of deal.
But, like, for me, if going into that game, say I get to that boss, I'm going to look up at it and be like, hold on one sec. Just hold on, Mr. Crab. And all of a sudden it's like, guys, I need some help here, please. And then just literally the 4 or 5
We
of
just
us.
swarm in.
I would love
And
that.
our dragons.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
For me, that was the big game that stood out.
Now, Platinum Games is usually a first party for Microsoft, right?
No,
they're not. So
Platinum Games.
this could come out to PlayStation 4.
Yes, absolutely.
And it could be SharePlayed on the PS Vita. perhaps.
I like it.
Vita, which the video should be up of our unboxing.
It should be up on our unboxing. Sorry for the delay. We had a couple of things that we had to take care of.
Yep.
But the video did air on Wednesday.
What video? Oh, yes, right.
Unboxing.
Yeah, we're going to do it
The
right on
unboxing that
Wednesday.
you just mentioned that we're talking about
That's
on
Wednesday.
Thursday.
I didn't know if we were going to put it up right on Wednesday, but I guess
Yes, we are.
No, wait for the weary. So check that out last week. Also, you could check out all of the E3 pre and post shows and the conferences. Microsoft gave us a little bit of prom because, fucking Bergen County sucks.
Yeah. Sorry about the Microsoft. Sorry about the audio on the Microsoft video. There were some technical difficulties that were out of our control. But luckily, we were able to resolve it for the rest of the show.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And we also had, me and Jeremy did a Lego Let's Play, the demo of Star Wars Episode 7, which I'm going to be getting on the video.
Definitely is a must-have game. It was a lot more fun than the credit I gave it. So.
And of course, Resident Evil. I like to take a spin on. So that was
That's
very
all
interesting.
you, because that music was creeping me
I
out a
know.
little bit.
Yeah, we were playing the music. He was creeped out by it. But if you didn't know, this is the greatest video games cast in all of Mushroom Kingdom in the former Albion by Lionhead Studios. And, of course, the past, present, and future locations in the shitty, not so shitty, maybe shitty. Will we see a next year's Assassin's Creed 83 Assassin's Creed series? We are three best friends to talk to you about video games every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wow,
that works so much better now.
That was beautifully done. We also bring you Let's Plays every Tuesday and Thursday.
The problem is that only works on this episode.
Why?
Because I can't go like this.
Well, you can go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Jeremy can go Monday, myself, Wednesday. It will work.
Yeah, we can work it out. We can work it out. But
Also, if any big breaking news, Mr. Jeremy Bird usually takes care of that. We also have
Him too.
to a console near you every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I gotta get used to the time zones again. Eastern Time on both youtube.com/improvgaming, where you can chat with us in the comments, or on blogtalkradio.com/fillingthevoid, RN, where you can call and speak to us. And to a console near you is basically easily to put games getting released and the big news in gaming that happened over the week. It's going to be a big week this week. We're going to endeavor all of E3. And then, of course, fun stuff there.
do you just make up words like as you go? Like do
Probably
these words
does.
just like
What?
I'm wondering like if you make up words on the spot or if you have a book of like Pete's words that like you just like because you use them often.
Endeavor? I know. I saw you and you're like, what the hell is this? So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment if you have something to say. Helps us out, keeps the lights on, and gets us a new set every year. So now onto the topic of show. Joe, I do make up words, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Now onto the topic at hand.
The good of E3.
The good of E3. What was great about it? Let me tell you what was great about it.
Oh, you're gonna start this? All right. Sounds good.
Oh, do you want to start?
No, please. I insist, sir.
Ubisoft press conference.
I was gonna say.
When it comes to the games, tune in for Wednesday when I finish that statement. The games. Let me just say, Ubisoft hit it perfectly. Let's paint a little portrait for the fans right here. They come out with Just Dance 2017. You know they did that for the big papers, the USA Today, everybody that's covering E3. Just Dance, big franchise for them. So, of course, they started off with it. That's perfectly fine. Absolutely great. Then you get to the games that we want to see. Wildlands. Whew. What a great way to open for a nice, big game. Obviously, it was, I don't think your friends that you play with are going to be like, all right, I'm coming in with the chopper. Just hold him. But for somebody like us, we'll be like, all right, I'm trailing the guy. Pete, where are you? Okay, I just got in the trailer. All right, let me know when you're close,
Yeah,
It's
little
gonna
hand here.
Little hand. Christmas is coming. So that, and then just March 17, 2016, I think perfect. Even though I do think, and I said this to Jeremy earlier in when we were recording this earlier, but for our Zelda E3 coverage here on the channel, I said that I believe that the NX and that Zelda will be released on March 20th. So that is
Launch
one thing.
title. So
Launch
I like
title.
it.
But I'm just saying, on a sidebar. But, because I think, Wildlands is good, but I think Nintendo's going to slip in right there. Because if you think about it, not a lot of March games are here.
No.
It's a lot of February games that's going to be the clusterfuck. But moving on, I'll be quick. South Park. The teaser grabbed me already. You have Trey and Matt Stone come out, and they were just like, the game's not really, we don't have a story yet. And I was like, oh, this game is so far off. And then you see a trailer, then you see gameplay.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, we should tease it a release date. I go, here we go, March 2017, April 2017. Nope,
December
6th. And we also have a South Park video, if you want to check that out, where I explain everything with the collectors, the gold, everything, and me and Jeremy. And please help me, let me know what I should pre-order on the sidebar. So you have that. Then you just... For Honor was out there. For Honor were great. We said it looked like Dynasty Warriors, Dark Souls mixed. Very cool like that. Watch Dogs looked immediately better than what Watch Dogs 1 looked like. You have this character Brass, who looks like he's a little cocky son of a bitch. Not Aiden Pierce, who looks like he's the most miserable motherfucker in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing anything big from Ubisoft? I do not have my notebook in ahead of me.
Ubisoft? Fuck kind of shit.
No Beyond Good and Evil 2. Sour note.
The VR stuff.
The VR. Oh,
Eagle Flight.
So I think they spent a tad too much time on VR. With the Eagle Flight, I enjoyed the demo, but best of 3. No, just show us whoever gets a goal and be done with it. And then Star Trek, I feel, was my problem. Also, was that looks cool, and that package where everybody from Star Trek. I'm not a big Star Trek fan. I apologize, but everybody talking and everything was cool. They really didn't need to bring on the guy just to reiterate the fact, this is a great feeling.
They could have just left it.
Chop some time off, which is the bad to see on Wednesday. But, that looked cool.
Watch Dogs.
And then the final thing, Steep. I was right. See, Stip. It's a new word. You're gonna hate me for this now.
I'm gonna murder you.
That looked cool. I wasn't intrigued at first because we were coming up on the 2-hour mark, but oh my god, did it look great.
Yes.
I have to say, also the very good is, besides EA, I think every press conference was either 4 or higher for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Microsoft
one
was great.
Like 3.5 for me.
But Microsoft, I feel, did a great job. They showed games, just as many games in the allotted time with an hour and a half besides Ubisoft, but very crisp. Here's the Xbox S. Here is the Scorpion coming out next year, blah, 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 blah. Here are the games, Gears of War, here's this, here's Halo Wars 2. Beta starts now. I gotta really play that beta. I expect a Let's Play on that as well. So very cool.
Gears 4.
And then Sony was doing their thing with having God of War start. The orchestra. Having an orchestra throughout the whole press conference. Yeah. Unbelievable. Even the gentleman said, I can't think of his name. I keep thinking of Drac Chetton, but that's not it. Is the gentleman who comes up and goes, it is so incredible to have an orchestra bring you onto stage. Yeah. And I'm like, I can only imagine. But seeing God of War, seeing Kratos, voiced by a different actor. It's not the original.
Still sounds familiar.
Still sounds familiar. A little bit older, a little bit more grayer Kratos, having I think Detroit, which looked absolutely fantastic as well.
Detroit looks amazing.
The only thing is it was compact, but I would like a little bit more, Mm-hmm. And the only thing that also was weird, and I mentioned to you yesterday, Days Gone revealed Sony Ben's game, point for me. But then they end the show with the gameplay. Why wouldn't you just put it together?
Yeah, I don't know why. That's kind
of
their style, right? Like, I remember last year they did something along that same vein where they were like, here's a glimpse, and it wasn't even like the beginning and end. It was like something in the middle, and then they were like, oh, let me show you the gameplay. I think it might have been Horizon Zero Dawn, actually.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I think Horizon Zero Dawn, they showed, oh, this is the new IP that we're working on, and then later on they're like, hey, reminding you of that new IP, let me show you some gameplay, and that's where we saw her take down the T-Rex-ish mechanical robot. So that was kind of strange, but like they had mentioned it earlier in the conference, and so they kind of have that fucking motif or that kind of. But
I can see if they're closer, but it's the beginning of the conference and then the end.
But they can do it anytime that they want to.
Exactly.
If that's their MO, then they'll do it anytime that they want to, and they probably felt like that was a good enough title for them to go. We'll open with this, give everybody a teaser, and then at the end of the night, give them some dinner.
See, and then the final thing I'll say about Sony, which is actually I'll say that for Wednesday. Remind me to take all that on Wednesday. But I've been talking for a little bit, so I bring it not to you, Nick, because you went last first time.
I went last. What?
First time.
First time last?
Yes.
I don't understand what
I
you're
don't
talking
get what the fuck he's talking
about.
about.
Whatever. Anyway,
My words. No, we're gonna start with Jay because you started with
with the
the thing that stood out for you. So Jay, what stood out for you? What was the good? And please say the music to my ears because I saved it for you.
Bethesda.
What about Bethesda?
Oh my god, just from when it starts. They announced the new Quake Champions game. Too bad it's a PC game. I really want to play that. From there,
I would not be surprised if it was ported over.
no.
Elder Scrolls Legends, I didn't give a shit about. The new mods and stuff for Fallout 4.
It's a fan service. I can respect that.
Yep. The Skyrim Special Edition. That looks... That
Dad,
blew,
oh my goodness.
forgot about that. That blew me away because it was like... I love it how they showed the PS3 graphics and then the PS4 graphics. I'm like, what an overhaul on that game.
Like, even for Nick to go, that looked good. I want to be a part of that. That's something, you know.
Also, they had with the trailer for Prey. That looks really good.
Prey, yeah.
Still want to know what's going on with his fucking eye. That's what I'm curious about.
It's about the story, man.
Yep.
Enjoy the story.
And then they catered to the fan of me by showing more stuff for Doom, onto the Evil DLC, the snap maps, the new modes, and then the fact that Doom and Fallout 4 are going to go to VR. That I'm very,
cool.
very impressed. And then they could have left me there. Like, you said it best. They were just throwing cards on the table. Here's this, that, these, and those. And I'm like, all right, I've had enough. And then blow me away with Dishonored 2. Just completely wipe the floor with me with Dishonored 2.
Blow you away. I pre-ordered the collector's
Yeah.
edition.
No, it's just like I said. When
I
it got
have two
announced-
collector's editions now. South Park and Dishonored. I have no room for these things.
Like I said, last year I saw the trailer for Dishonored and I was just like, next, don't care. And then just how fucking good that game is gonna be. Just somehow you gotta give stuff a second chance.
Did you play it? The original Dishonored?
I did. It was good. The second one, I was just like, it doesn't quite hold my... Like, the first one was fun. I'm gonna replay it when I get the special edition. But 2 just... Oh, man. 2 is just like a whole new level of that game.
Gotcha.
You know, when we pick up our Vitas tomorrow, as of recording this, we also should look at the terabytes. Because I realized I'm getting Dishonored 2, the definitive Dishonored game, and then I'm getting South Park, the new South Park, and then I'm getting Stick of Truth.
You can unload them and load them whenever you please through your PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So, not that big of a deal. You can always keep the save files on hand also.
Do you think, though... We'll go off.
Yeah, we'll talk
I have
about
a
that.
question for you. I got
We'll talk
I
about
should
that.
really have...
Remember, it's like the same thing as your PlayStation 4. Like, you don't always have to have
Yeah,
stuff
because
on
if
there.
it could stay on my library, that's
Yeah,
just
but
to
that's
remind me.
what your thing is.
But
It's
but if I can download it, you know. But well,
I don't know if they don't they have the expansion slots on them.
I think they do. I'm not quite sure.
PS Vita had expansion slots, so like you can put a chip in there to.
We'll see.
So
We'll see.
all right.
And I was going to say, the last thing that really stood out for me was with Sony. Sorry, scratch that for Sony. We're going to go back to Microsoft. The PS1 S, $399. Finally, they
Well,
catered to...
$299.
$299.
Starting at
Xbox One?
$299.
Xbox One. I say $399 because I'm going to get the bigger hard drive. But for me, that catered to me because I've been looking to get the system. The problem is, it's not just because it's got a couple of games. The problem is it wouldn't fit because of my space requirements. Therefore, now you can put it vertically and we're good to go. And
Just think that for Xbox S, it's going to be for $399. You get 4 terabytes if you get the external thing as well. 4 terabytes.
Yeah, you're good. You're golden. What I like about the Xbox One is that 2 terabyte on the $399 standalone.
Yep.
Which is nice, you know. It shows that Microsoft is like, okay, clearly 500 gigabytes is not good enough for anybody.
Yeah.
And they knew that going in because the moment you got the Xbox One, you could still expand your hard drive by using an external. PlayStation did not keep that option open.
Yep.
So everybody, I think Xbox knew that going in, and they were like, yeah, we have to cater to the gamers, and then Sony was just like, yeah, you just have to deal with what we give you. And, I mean, everybody upgrades them anyway. I upgraded my PlayStation 3, and I was looking to upgrade the PlayStation 4 when I got it, but I never did.
Well, we could always do that with our video.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know how much.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Well, you never know. Also, shout out to Inside, final release date.
Yep.
Maker from Play Dead, makers of Limbo. Very excited to play that right before I go away to Evo.
Nice.
All coverage here on the channel, youtube.com/ImprovGamers. What stood out for you, my boy?
All
What
right.
was the good stuff
The
for you?
good for me. I have quite a bit of good actually.
Oh.
All right, Skyrim. I'm gonna start with the beginning. All right, so nothing really from EA that was good, as far as my notes are concerned, except for Optimus Prime in Titanfall 2.
But Titanfall 2 does look good.
There was some interesting moments in Titanfall 2. And in terms of, and this is saying
I
a lot,
wish
in
we saw
terms of
gameplay.
in terms of EA and what was good about EA, Titanfall 2 was definitely good. But
Nice.
I don't think that their conference was good at all. But to start off with, what really stood out to me was I'm sitting there talking to you, and Jeremy looks back and goes, "Nick, pay attention! Quake's coming on!" And I was like, "What?"
Quake.
And Quake Champions comes out, and I thought that was absolutely amazing. I was just like, oh my! Every single moment of that announcement trailer was just phenomenal. I thought. Then skip ahead a little bit. You know, we got the Elder Scrolls, okay, whatever. Fallout 4, okay, whatever. And then we hit Skyrim Definitive Edition, and the graphics, the changing graphics, like Jeremy had mentioned, is what really shifted the whole perspective on Definitive Edition. Only because they look like they actually put the effort in. Other people look like they just upscale everything. They seem like they actually put the effort in. So I'm happy about that. VR, okay, kind of called it in a lot of regards, and then get to Recore on Microsoft, where.
But you weren't happy with Recore.
I was happy with Recore. I was a little on the fence about, well, this is what I said that they might do, and it might not be a good game because of it. But I was happy that you did get a glimpse of how you're utilizing some of those characters. Like when she's jumping to the wall and she points at a wall and the little guy goes and she has the tether to go to it. So it's best. It's kind of like the best, the top parts of both lists that I had, right? They need to show me how she's utilizing them, right? Which is going to be great if she's utilizing them and they're not AI. So they're not AIs. They're actually being utilized by the player. And that's the best of the good list, and then the best of the bad list. You pull it out, you put it into something new, and it becomes a completely different animal and has no recollection of what it is, or behaviors are completely changed. They act completely differently. There's no memory bank for that core. It's just a new character, essentially. I'm sure that in the cutscenes they'll dive into, oh no, it's the same thing, but I would like to see those characteristics in the gameplay. That this thing used to think it was a dog, but now it's a spider.
Yep.
You need to pen her now.
No, it's all you should keep.
Nothing really good.
Excited about Gears. Let me just say,
Yeah.
Gears gameplay demo was great.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
It was okay. You know, I wasn't blown away. I was just like, it's a Gears game. Okay, sounds good. Whatever. Then we get to Ubisoft, and my first thing was Ghost Recon Wildlands. Blown away by Ghost Recon Wildlands. Blown away by how in-depth it is, how interactive it is, how cooperative play really makes a big difference in that game's style.
It took like Rainbow Six Siege, and I mentioned this because it's that squad-based mentality, you know, honing in on something and just blow it up.
Yep.
100 times, being like, okay, in Siege you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna enter through the bedroom, I'm gonna enter through the living room. In this, it's like, okay, snipe this guy out. Okay, I'm gonna take this guy out. Okay, you're in the helicopter, and it's just so much more broader and everything.
Yep.
Then, absolutely blown away with the South Park announcement.
Oh my god, yeah.
And it's cool because like first I was unhappy with the South Park announcement, and then as the announcement kept on going, it got better and better and better,
my
right?
God.
So first it was like, oh, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to get something from South Park. And then the way that they were talking about it, I was like, this is definitely not happening anytime soon. And then we see gameplay. And I was like, we have gameplay? What? What? And in-depth gameplay, like there's a lot going on. It's not just
hey, check out this little area of the game.
It's like they're showing different areas, they're showing different events happening, they're showing different cutscenes, you know, different interactions, different ways to fight. I was just like, okay, that's fucking awesome. We've got such a robust amount of gameplay that maybe this game is ready. And then they start talking again, and I was like, maybe this game isn't ready.
Oh, but you know, I think it was like, Trey, I think, people want to know a release date. And I go, here we go, 2017, like fall,
Yeah,
summer.
and then, boom, December 6th of this year. And again, I think that's a prank because I'm a fan of Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and I feel like they might prank us just because of what happened with the last game. How it kept on getting pushed back, and we were never going to see a release date, and then suddenly we did get a release date, and then it was pushed back. Then we could reserve it, and then it was still pushed back. So it just felt like I feel like it's a prank just so that then they could play around with it. I feel like it would be like it's not December 6th, guys. It's December 7th. Like just
Merry Christmas,
you know what I'm saying? Like something along those lines of a prank, not like a big pushback to next year. But something to fuck around with.
Knowing them.
Are
you going to get the collector's edition?
Yes, probably.
You're going to join me on the collector's?
Yes.
You have to do it on the Ubi store.
Yeah?
Just so you know.
Okay.
I tried to find it on Amazon, everything, but it looks like the best way to do it is just do the Ubi store, and it looks nice. You could check out me and Jay's video on the channel.
Then we got then in the Ubisoft presentation we got some VR stuff, and the Eagle Flight was nice and all, but I was really happy with the Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Nice.
Because it showed creative use of VR headsets and how to really utilize the system beyond our normal sense of gameplay, right? Sitting there and controlling stuff like Five Nights at Freddy.
Yep.
It's all fun and good if it's entertaining. But if you're just a bridge crew guy, just one bridge crew guy, doing it, it's kind of going to get boring and old. But having your friends interact with you and kind of being part of a team.
I told you to push the thrusters!
That's part of a bridge crew. Like, that is an awesome way to bring VR out to people and to really engage a big fan base, because Star Trek has a massive fan base. And those are the only people I know that would spend fucking $800 in order to be on the bridge of a
to be the captain, to be
very smart to get.
It looks very basic though. That's what
it does look very basic. I'm a little worried about the graphics and the immersion of the game. So I'm a little worried about that. Then we get For Honor. And For Honor, for me last year, I was not as excited about it. I was like, it's a cool concept. I think they need to work on it, and they did. And everything that I thought they needed to work on...
Everybody thinks you're dead right now.
Huh?
Everybody thinks you're dead. Sandia's texting me, Lauren's texting me, everybody's like, where the hell is Nick?
Why are they texting me? Jesus Christ. What's wrong? Is there something wrong?
No, they're just like, I haven't heard from Nick all day.
Why is Sandia texting?
She goes, hey, have you seen Nick? By the way, how are you?
Bitch. Anyway.
And then, hey, you with Nick? Just want to make sure. I haven't heard from him all day.
Okay. Anyway.
They're going to hate us.
So, For Honor, everything that I wanted them to improve on, they improved on, right?
Oh, yeah.
You improved on combat, you saw blocking, you saw how it is that you're playing the game. Good, great. Watch Dogs 2, looks like you get that big jump that you got from Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2, so hopefully they're sticking with that kind of concept and that kind of jump in storytelling as well. And then...
I'm going to respond just saying I'm with him now.
Yeah.
He had a crazy day.
Steep. I thought that was amazing. I was at first, again, this is the same kind of South Park thing where it was just like, I'm not too sure about this. And then suddenly it started getting better and better and better and better. And I was like, okay, this could be awesome. Obviously, God of War. I was phenomenally excited for God of War. I just thought everything was awesome. The fact that they reinvented Kratos.
Yep.
Right? He doesn't have the Chains of Olympus anymore. Now he has the axe of whoever. Who knows?
The holy shit axe.
Yeah, the holy shit axe.
He has guardian weapons.
And I love the way when he pulls it out. When he pulled out the axe and he gets ready to start fighting, it was reminiscent of Tron for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like everything starts coming out of the handle and you get these lines that come out and start doing a whole bunch of like zigzags and shit like that, and he starts beating the shit out of the stuff. I thought that axe was awesome, and I love the way that he could summon it back, very Asgardian. So I'm excited for that one.
Definitely.
Then Resident Evil VR. Am I on the right page? Yes. Sure. Resident Evil VR. Excited for that because you're taking a franchise everybody wants to see, and you're saying, okay, you're going to be able to experience it in VR. And so it could bring a lot of traction over to VR. It could be one of those key games that is good enough
To have the purpose of
to
VR.
create a VR economy in the gaming industry. And speaking of that, Batman Arkham VR, another key game that is good enough to have.
But do you see that being a full game?
Yes.
Okay.
I see that as is you're playing as Batman from Arkham in the game, the first game, right?
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're playing that as Batman from the perspective of Batman that entire game.
I would love that.
That's what I think it is. I think instead of it being third person, it just became a first person game, which will be dizzying because he likes to flip and jump and block and jump over things. If I'm correct.
But you'll be Batman.
So, and I think I love that the quote that they went with was that Joker quote, because you think you're good in that mask. You think you can put on a mask and become something you're not. Like, I thought that was fucking astonishing.
Once you put a mask on, what's the point of ever taking it off?
I thought that was fucking awesome. Like, that is like a quintessential quote for putting on a VR headset and trying to become Batman.
Absolutely.
And having Joker taunt you with that concept. Like, it's just fucking awesome.
That's what got me on that trailer.
It's so Deadpool that it's Joker.
Yep.
Like, that's how fucking awesome it is. Right? And then, little surprise. I think everybody might be surprised about this. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I think of that as good. I think exploring something outside of the realm of, I'm actually interested in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Exploring something outside of the standard traditional shooter, something that shooters have not done on the console, I feel. 0G gunplay. 0G battle arenas. That seems very fucking awesome.
And
I agree.
Do you feel like it's going to be in the best capable hands with Infinity Ward doing it? Because Call of Duty is the marquee for shooters.
Yes, I think from what I saw at E3, they were the perfect people to do it. They did it correctly, and it's going to be a great 0G fight warfare game. On top of your regular Call of Duty stuff. So you're still going to get your regular gravity-based fighting, but now they're kind of expanding to something else. Again, I'll refer to it as Halo, but I think it does better than Halo because Halo is a space warfare game. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you never get to experience real 0G.
Yeah, you never see Master Chief going out.
Yeah, you never see. I mean, he does fight in space, but he has mag boots.
Yeah.
So he's stuck to the ground. So it feels, even when you jump, it's like a little bit slower, but that's all that they really... Yeah. These guys are like floating in the air. They have jetpacks stopping. They're using grappling hooks to bring them to shit. Like, it looked like a very well done space simulator fucking warfare game. So I think it's going to be... For me, it's going to be great. I don't care about Call of Duty fans. So I'm glad that you hate it because I like it. Finally, something new.
There we go.
Is that everything for you? Because we have one last thing to discuss.
Also...
After you're done.
Also, Improv Gaming. Good job, Improv Gaming, in providing content.
There we go.
That's the good?
That's the good. That's it.
I figured you would want to end on a good note, so please fill Nick in about what we saw earlier today prior to recording this. Tell me all about Zelda. Tell me the name of Zelda. Tell me everything.
Okay, so the trio starts out with Pokemon Sun and Moon. Game looks good. They announced 4-on-4 Pokemon battles.
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Whatever. Then we tried to they announced the Zelda trailer, and here it is. Coming out for the Wii U and the NX, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Love the fucking title. Semi-open world. He doesn't give a shit.
I don't care.
Semi-open
It's
world.
Zelda.
The game mechanics look great. How you can upgrade and carry multiple weapons. You said the best. We're looking at it on the Wii U engine. I can't wait to see it on the NX engine. Mm-hmm. Looks really, really beautiful. It's kind of like a Twilight Princess and a Wind Waker combination. The cell shading combined with the realistic graphics. There's 100 different shrines in the game which you can upgrade your weapons. You get new things from here.
Shrines look great as well.
They're not temples. They're like, we haven't even seen a temple yet. We've just seen like what you can do in the first small area. Like, say that this circle is the demo area. The table is the fucking world. It's huge.
Humongous. He was losing his shit.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, that's the demo and here's the world. You gotta be fucking kidding me. What else can I go into? Just
Weapons are breakable after
Yep.
many uses, which is cool.
I like that versus like you get a sword, whatever. Well, mine is master ability. You get a sword and you keep like bashing on an enemy. It breaks finally. That I really liked. It's actually Ganon. It's not Ganondorf this time. You're battling against Ganon, which makes me very happy. I was thinking about this for weeks. What would I want to see in the new Zelda game? Not Ganondorf. Bring back Ganon. Do a classic Zelda battle. Makes me very happy. It also has time of days, like the other Zelda games that actually gives you weather gives you as well. He liked the snow a lot. The snow,
The snow looked great.
Yeah.
Like,
not up to Steve's graphics, but it looked good.
Still, for that kind of, it reminded me very of Skyward Sword meets Wind Waker.
Okay.
Made a baby, and this is what they made.
Yeah, in this game it's interesting because you don't just get swords as your main weapons. You get an axe. You get a special type of hammer. You get multiple types of bows, bombs, things like that. They also brought back the stamina meter from Skyward Sword, which I hated that fucking mechanic, but they actually fine-tuned it and made it better. Because your stamina helps you do climbing, running, when you're using the hang
climb
glide
on
thing.
walls, you can finally jump.
Yeah, it looks like they actually took the mechanic from Skyward Sword, redefined it, and made it better. I love that because literally, say you're climbing up a mountain, your stamina's running out, you can do one big push, jump up to the ledge and grab it. Regain your stamina, climb back up, hop to that. If there's a short ledge, hop to that. Just big, that's what the shrines are about, upgrading your stamina, learning your different weapons. They do have amiibo play in as well, which I love, because there's no companion like in Ocarina of Time. You have Navi, you have Tattle in Majora's Mask. This one, if you have the Wolf Link amiibo, you put it on the thing from Twilight Princess, you get Wolf Link as your companion, which is really cool. So you kind of Paradox Time is playing yourself, but they announced that. Archer Link, Rider Link, and the Guardian, which are the big shell-looking creatures, that's there. You have totally, not customizable, but you have multiple types of armament. You can go through the whole game in a pair of fucking boxer shorts, and you're going to die real quickly. But also, with the weather, going on that note, you have to change your equipment when you go into the snow areas. Like, he'll start walking and he'll get a little colder. He'll start shivering, and then his health starts dropping, where you put the warm stuff on, and there's your equipment.
So use your
in-depth
shield
game. Very-
to sled down the mountain.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, pretty in-depth game. It seems like they're stepping it up.
Very in-depth game. And the thing is, how Link's supposed to have the normal green tunic and everything. Different colored equipment, different things do different
From
things.
what we've seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Now, last thing, and then we're going to end this episode.
Wow, Jesus Christ, we've been going on.
What are your thoughts on Zelda talking? And do you think Link will talk?
I love it. Because for years it's just you hear, For Zelda it's like, Link, same thing. Ha, yeah, ha. Same thing as usual.
perfectly done.
But the whole thing, it's like, you hear, Link, come help. Link, I need you. Link, go to here in this map. And I like the accent they gave her. Just, it sounds like, we'll see what happens, but I definitely, literally, I want to see me at the very end of the game and Link be like, it's like, you're, like, say he finally comes upon Zelda, and it's like, I couldn't even think what he would say. You meet her, and it's just like, because me, I'd be like,
I've been feeling fine.
yeah, just the game looks absolutely fucking amazing. Just from what they showed us for the demo, I can't wait for this game to come out.
Sounds good.
I know it's
Is it going to be your game of the show? We'll find out on Friday.
you will.
But you can't have some sunny days without a couple rainy days, sir. So on Jeremy's episode, we go from the good to the bad. So thank you guys for watching the first part of this week's series.
Oh, wow.
You like
wow,
it?
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that a lot.
I know you did. Also, if you haven't and you're hearing all the good things about E3, why don't you see all the good things about E3 right here on the channel? You can see our pre, where we didn't have any idea what the hell was going to happen, the press conference in its entirety, and then our pool show where Nick loses his shit for half the games that he saw.
Yeah.
Also, check out the Let's Plays of the Lego demo that's out that you can also get.
Episode 7. Yep.
Resident Evil demo that's out. Check that out. Halo Wars I'll be doing a Let's Play on very soon. Our Vita unboxing. A lot of good stuff coming to the channel. So if you haven't subscribed, keep the lights on. Make us and share us with all your beautiful friends. And as always, we'll see you guys on Wednesday for the badness of E3.
Game on.
Well, that's fine. We'll be right. I apologize. If you can ask him, I woke up, I was like, hello, Jay. I was like, excuse me for a moment. And I just screamed at the top of my lungs. I go, As I live and breathe, it is my mother's birthday!